Fried green tomatoes, black-eyed peas, and sweet tea are all familiar Southern dishes, but one of the South's most cherished delicacies is less well known: Mayhaw Jelly. Mayhaws grow in hot, swampy areas sprinkled sparsely between southwest Georgia and Texas. The mayhaw, though often called a berry, is actually part of the hawthorn and rose families.
When I was a little girl, we had to go out, pick the berries out of the swamp, and then my mother took them home. She washed them, boiled them, she squished them, get all the juice out. Then what was left, she washed again, she squished them some more, then she made the jelly.
And every Christmas, she would make all the children and grandchildren a bag of her homemade Mayhaw jelly, her cookies, and whatever your favorite thing was, like anything like peach preserves. So he got peach preserves, and she did that until she died. And she died in January, and she still, that December, made all of us. She'll work on it for months, getting everything ready, but she died in January, and at Christmas that year, she gave us all our bag. I guess that's my biggest memory. It's just something we've always grown up with. It wasn't special to us because that was just our favorite jelly. We didn't go to the grocery store and buy the grape and all that stuff. It was just good.
Most of the families here did have the family tradition of making Mayhaw jelly, and the recipe really wasn't and isn't a secret because it was made by everybody, and it's juice and sugar and the pectin, so it was a real simple, good, natural recipe, and not any other additives were added to it, and so everybody used the same recipe.
Actually, my grandfather is the one that taught me how to make jelly. When my grandmother died, I went to live with him. I was going to college, and I lived with my granddad for a while I was going to school, and he felt compelled to carry on the tradition of jelly making. So even though he had done it all his life with my grandmother, he nor I knew what to do. So we kind of fell in the kitchen. We knew everything was, we just didn't know exactly how to do it. So we forged a path, and we kind of learned how to make jelly on our own, even though he had been doing it for forever. So we made muscadine jelly. That was the first thing we ever made, and he lived 5 or 6 more years after that. Every summer when the muscadines got ready, we made muscadine jelly, and that was the very, very seed that was what planted the seed of me starting a commercial jelly business.
Well, I remember making Mayhaw jelly because Daddy would always go out and pick gallons and gallons and gallons of Mayhaws, and then he would bring them back for Guga to make all the Mayhaw jelly. And Guga would make jars and jars and jars because she would make one with each grandchild, one serving with each grandchild, and let them have it and take it home, which would be about a case or more a piece. And then she would use Mayhaw jelly to make her pinwheels that none of us can make. We all try, but we can't make them. But they're really good pinwheels with Mayhaw jelly in them and pecans, and that's what I love most about Mayhaw jelly.
Whenever we made jelly, the first thing we did was take the beautiful red berries and we put them in a pot, as I said a little bit earlier, a gallon of berries, covered them with a gallon of water. And there's not a lot of flesh in this berry, there's a lot of little seed in there. So they were cooked with that. Then that hot mixture was poured into a strainer of some sort. This is just a simpler demonstration. And they were crushed so that the juice would be strong and tart, and it was put into another container, and that's what you made your jelly with.
For many years, Mayhaw jelly was available only to those who made it themselves, but that all changed when 4 enterprising women, Pat Bush, Joy Jinks, Betty Jo Toole, and Dot Wainwright, joined together to form the Mayhaw Tree.
Well, the Mayhaw Tree was a project of 4 women who were looking for some way to grow up the economy of our town. It was really an economic development project. And when you do economic development, you try to figure out what it is that you have that people would buy that they can't get anywhere. It's not being manufactured, or it's hard to find. And we knew the only thing we had was mayhaws.
When we started the mayhaw tree, and there was such excitement in just the general population because people just couldn't get over the fact that you could go out anywhere and gather a gallon of mayhaws and bring them in and sell them for $8 a gallon. It was just unheard of.
Now, Mayhaw Jelly is a traditional jelly that's always been made in your grandmother's kitchen, and you could not buy it. It had never been marketed commercially. But we knew that people that had grown up eating Mayhaw Jelly would love to be able to buy it. And so we chose that as our project.
Anne Sheffield was the original Mayhaw tree jelly maker. She worked at the high school as the dietitian, and when she retired, Miss Joy and Miss Pat Bush and all them asked her to do the kitchen. So that was her recipe that they used, and she worked there and made the jelly.
What they did in the past, they gathered enough mayhaws to make jelly for their family, and the rest they gave to the hogs. So they didn't, as good as it was, they just didn't really value the crop. But the first year that we bought mayhaws, there were just these beautiful red berries everywhere, just gallon after 5-gallon buckets usually is the way people brought them in. And they were so pretty, and we had advertised that we only bought fresh, high-quality fruit, so not to bring us anything that wasn't good. And we decided that we would pay for the berries with $2 bills and let the town see the Mayhaw money.